10 to 15 centimeters that we dealt with yesterday. We are in the middle of winter here, my friends, and please join me in welcoming our good friend Matt Lee here to talk about how to winterize your home with preventative measures, mostly how to avoid major problems down the road, whether you're buying or selling.
Yeah, we're just trying to prevent damage when we get to minus 20. Nothing good happens at minus 20. I think
even with cars, I know batteries are going on cars.
Everything. As soon as you start to move it, you know, people are using snow blowers and they're breaking things because, you know, ice build up and it just moving parts breaks.
It's the country we live in this time of year.
That's right. So let's see what we can do to prevent any damage to the house.
Well, you have some visuals that we will show you, and even things like leaking air.
Older homes downtown, people are looking about how do we prevent air from getting from outside to inside. And I mean, if they don't want to spend a lot of money, they're using weather strippings and blocking the bottom of the doors because they don't always line up properly, especially in older homes. So, you know, the weather ceilings, the weather ceiling's a big thing, and I mean, just add that any other piece to it you can. I remember I grew up in a farmhouse, and you used to stick like a towel along the bottom of the door, you know, at the going outside because it was that cold, and you just try to prevent that extra air from coming in because they talk about older homes, stone and brick. If you measured every little crack along the house between the windows and the mortar, you'd have a square meter. So if that's like a half a door being blown in your house at a consistent time, then that's why your heat bills are where they are.
And so with the picture we just saw, you can get something to close that gap for the bottom of a door.
Yeah, and usually they're kind of a whisk type of thing, so that when you're opening the door, they kind of roll with the door. But you can get plastic ones, you can get rubber ones, anything that will prevent that air from constantly flowing into the house. You know, if you're not going to replace the door.
Okay, let's take a look at some more pictures here, and the exterior of the house.
Yeah, so this is an exhaust for your natural gas or propane exhaust from the furnace. If it gets covered like this, you will get carbon monoxide that will backtrack into the house.
Oh, that's not good.
No, so you're seeing the before at the snowfall and then after. The regulations are 18 inches from the ground for the reason of trying to get them to stay above snow level, but we do get drifts as we see. You know, this weather, we're going to get lots of drifts. So we want to make sure that those are uncovered and that we make sure that you have a free flow of exhaust out of the house and it doesn't back up.
Yeah, that's a huge health concern.
Yeah, you want to make sure you have carbon monoxide detectors, especially in the winter, because you are sealing the house up. People open the windows in the summer and you know, air out the house, but right now it's a balloon. You've got this covered, and you want to try to keep the heat in. You want to make sure there's no exhaust. That's why they make sure you have the door closers on between the garage and the houses now. It wasn't a requirement before, but they make sure that you have it so that if for some reason somebody started their car in the garage with the door open, that the door between the house and the garage slams shut, so you're not getting that in the house.
Right. Pipes, often you don't see them out of sight, out of mind, not necessarily.
Yeah, you know, especially this weather. I use downtown Kingston as a perfect example. We're dealing with older foundations, and most of the plumbing is run in the basement. Heat lines are a good way to prevent it. Plug them in to make sure that the line stays warm. What happens is that the water expands, of course, and breaks the copper piping, and then you have to have a plumber come in, and they are busy. They're running consistency. Like I've talked to a few of them that are just running a lot of hours right now, trying to keep ahead of it. And yeah, they will shock the lines. They will try to, you know, if you have a space heater, and if for some reason you know that there's a room that there's plumbing on an exterior wall, even though there's insulation and that plumbing's in that wall, I would put a space heater in that room to try to keep that room warmer. And you can even leave the tap on a little bit. If you're going to pay a little bit extra for water, but not much, I would probably just let it drip if it's an issue.
And the exterior too, when we talk about ice, this is a very dramatic shot here.
Yeah, so what we're dealing with is ice damming.
Is that you?
No, that's not me.
Okay.
No, no, not in 2 stories, no thanks. What has happened is a couple things have happened here. They've got this ice damming that is probably going to build up underneath the shingles, but to me that tells you that there's not a lot of insulation somewhere in that roof. So you might have had blown in insulation, but if there's a spot in your roof that doesn't have a lot of insulation, probably getting closer to the eaves, that heat from inside your bedrooms is going up through, and it's hitting the shingles from the backside, so it's actually melting all of that. So it's creating this drip effect, and that would happen over a few days. But if that insulation is not even throughout above your bedrooms and in the attic, you will get this heat escape, and that is the main area, whether it's the basement or the attic. Those are the main areas.
Preventative measures. Thank you so much, Matt Lee.
Real estate tips brought to you by Matt Lee of Royal LePage.